Hi guys, you are live here in the Houston Zoo's Facebook Live segment. We are here in the farm section, back in the Children's Zoo. My name is Dan, and we are here to basically show off one of our newest residents here in our farm area. We have Yzma. She is the black llama here. She is 10 months old, and she's only really been here a few months. So she basically, as you guys can see here, she has her new sister here, Fiesta, who's 10 years old, and she's been here for a long time. As you can see right now, we're doing what I like to call one of my favorite points in the day. We are doing a breakfast. As you see, we have a lot of different things going on here. We have browse, that's on top of some enrichments. As you can see, it's kind of like a puzzle feeder. So we have some alfalfa hay and a little bit of their grain diet. So you guys are looking at a little bit of what we offer here in the Houston Zoo every day. I try to mix it up and try to have fun. So like I said, guys, we are here in the farm section. So not only do we have llamas, we also have some ducks, we have some pigs, and then we have Zamir, our zebu cow. So if you guys haven't been here in a while, definitely have some new animals to come check out. So as we wait, kind of have a couple minutes to allow more people to join this live, feel free to ask some questions, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about Yzma, our new llama here. Video. So like I had mentioned before, Yzma's only been here a few months, so we've done a lot of learning with her. She's kind of done a lot of acclimating, getting used to her new neighbors that she lives with here. And now we realize that she's seen a lot of personality come out from her. As you can see right now, she just will hold on to the brows right there. But she's definitely sees Fiesta as like her sister. So whatever Fiesta wants to do, this is what Yzma wants to do. So anytime we're doing some training with Fiesta that we do here in the zoo, we can expect Yzma to be watching there, hopefully participate in those things in the future. So as we're looking at Yzma here, she's, like I said, she's only 10 months old, so she still has a lot of growing to do. As you will notice, she's only about half the size of Fiesta. So eventually, she's going to keep growing, and hopefully we'll have two big llamas here. We did kind of give her a haircut before she came here. If you guys didn't know, llamas have basically two different types of coats. They kind of have their undercoat, which is going to be the big fluffy thickness, and then we have like their outer coat, which is going to be the long hairs that look like mohawks. So we do have to kind of trim it in the summertime because they do get very fluffy and it's very, very thick. So yeah, as we do here in the zoo, we do participate in a lot of voluntary things. So with Fiesta, she basically sits there and allows us to shear her. Yeah, so we just have the question about, do we shear them? So yes, we do here, like I just mentioned. So everything we do here in the Houston Zoo, especially in our farm animals, since we have sensitive animals, we make everything as voluntary as possible. So Fiesta, since she's already trained, she'll get onto a halter. Basically, we'll just line her up, and she'll just allow us to basically shear her as she just stands there perfectly still. So something that we have to work with. We hope to hopefully do that with Yzma as well. I know sometimes we do get questions about whether these are alpacas or these are llamas. There are some differences. Llamas are actually almost twice the size as alpacas usually. They do kind of come from the same area of the mountain ranges in South America. But there are some differences, like the size I mentioned, but also the face. As you see, llamas here, Fiesta and Yzma, have a long snout. Don't really have a lot of fluffy hair in their face area, as alpacas are probably going to have all that. As you notice as well, how they utilize their lips a lot. Fiesta on the camera right there, she kind of sees. You notice she uses her lips to kind of maneuver the hay around. So they use their lips to kind of grab things, feel things out, and see if they want to taste it or not. So we have a question, like I said, Does Yzma get along with Zamir? I think the more question is, does Zamir get along with Yzma? As they are neighbors, they do have a little bit of getting used to each other. Zamir likes his personal space for sure, so everyone here is just kind of like brothers and sisters. We all live in the same area, but we do have to try to get along when we can. But llamas, like I said, they're really good about kind of knowing their space. You will notice that they have big eyes, so we kind of see a little bit of in Fiesta right now. Basically, they can see almost around them. So if you were basically standing right behind them, they pretty much can almost see you perfectly. So these guys are flight animals, so really good about getting out of the way of things. So anytime Zamir gets a little too close, our llamas are pretty good about giving him that personal space. So I'm going to try to grab a piece of browse here, see if Yzma will kind of take it from us. Here at the Houston Zoo, we do offer a variety of different browse here. So sometimes they'll like it, sometimes they won't. So I'm going to see if she'll be willing to get her attention here. As you see, she's only about half the size. She's still little. She's got the little banana ears. What's really beautiful about her, as you can see, she has a nice different color browns on her with the white nose. Llamas do come in a variety of different variations, so we're really excited to kind of have a different one here. As I mentioned before, you would notice how she kind of uses her lips to kind of grab the leaves and kind of pick it out and then yanks it. She, of course, is growing into her long eyelashes. She's definitely a beautiful llama. And she's gotten very, very comfortable with us as keepers. Me as a primary here in the farm section, I do get to spend a lot of time with Yzma. So she is getting a little bit comfortable with me being close. The goal is to be able to touch her just like we do with Fiesta. So llamas are technically ruminants as well, kind of similar in the goats, but not so many chambers. So they do have to eat, hay or browse, things that they are eating, and they will regurgitate it, and, chew it again and then swallow it. I have to be very careful because our llamas get spooked very, very easily. So we have a question from Charles. Asks, do they like the heat? So that's kind of a great question because one of the perfect examples to prove that is Yzma loves to sploot in the sun. So I do have a little bit of a sand pit here that I give them in the morning. Often guests will see that Yzma is just kind of laying flat on the ground in the middle of the sun. Usually they think that something's wrong with her, but it's actually one of her favorite things to do. She loves to, it's what we call sunning. So she loves to sun and lay in the dirt. You'll see her kind of dust herself off, roll around in the ground, and then just take off running and then do it again. So one of my favorite things about llamas is the personalities that these guys have. So they're both, obviously, look exactly the same, but their personalities are very different. If you guys do know Fiesta and have seen her before, you definitely see some facial descriptions that she'll kind of let us know. So Fiesta, she's very kind of watching you. What are you doing? You see it all in her face. She'll tell you in her ears. She'll tell you in her eyes. And Yzma, she's kind of figuring things out. So she does a lot of staring, a lot of watching. So she's just doing a lot of learning right now. She's doing what it's like to be a llama. She's learning everything from Fiesta. So maybe in the future we're going to have 2 drama llamas. So we have a question, does our Yzma like to give kisses? So we know a lot of us who are fans of Fiesta already know that Fiesta loves to give kisses. So we're hoping that Yzma will get to that point when she's kind of used to us. Often we actually would see both of them give each other kisses. So that's kind of one of the really neat things that I get to see here every now and then. When they kind of get close to each other, I'll catch them showing each other love. But yes, hopefully in the future, guys, we're going to be working on doing the kissing with Yzma. Hopefully you guys will come by and be able to have that experience. We do offer that here in the zoo as well. So here, starting this month, we do offer the farm experience that you guys will be able to see on the websites. Basically, if you guys are interested in kind of hanging out with me and doing some work with Yzma here and Fiesta and the rest of our farm areas, you guys can reserve a spot online. Basically, you just kind of follow me around, help me feed out these guys, see some enrichment, see some training, basically anything behind the scenes. So if you guys are interested in that, check on our website and you'll see our farm experience. So as you guys notice, how I mentioned, because I mentioned, Yzma will do whatever Fiesta tends to do. So, if Fiesta has to go pee, Yzma has to go check it out. So we have a question about what is the differences between llamas and alpacas. So if you guys are just joining, like I mentioned earlier, there are some differences. I know we get questions that if these are llamas or these are alpacas. So one of the biggest few differences, llamas are actually a lot bigger, or maybe about twice the size of alpacas. I know right now Yzma's doing a lot of growing now, so she's going to get a lot bigger. But also the hair differences. So llamas are going to have two different types of coats. These are going to have an undercoat, which is going to be the big fluffiness that you guys are going to see. It's going to be a couple inches thick, but they also have an outer coat that's going to act like the long, loose hairs. It's kind of hard to separate from the thick hairs. So anytime you see a mohawk on a llama, that's their outer coat. While alpacas are just going to have one type of coat. It's going to be soft, and it's going to go all the way to their face. As you notice, llamas are going to have a long snoot. They're not going to have that much hair on their face areas. All right, guys, well, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in to our Facebook Live here and checking out our newest resident, Yzma here. Make sure to visit the zoo here during our Member Appreciation Month. And all you members here, please come over and visit our llamas, especially Yzma, and I'll make sure to hopefully have you guys be able to feed her or see something really special. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And remember, we check us here out in the farm section in the Children's Zoo area.